Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here with another copywriting tutorial. Today we're gonna talk about emotions. What do they matter? Have you ever heard those people telling you like, yes, you should sell with emotions, but not always. So today we're gonna learn what is an emotion, how does it work, why should you apply it, and when to apply it, because it's not always. So today I'm gonna show you the science behind that and how do they work. So emotions, the basic thing is that emotions came into human beings, into evolution, because it was a thing or fight or flight, right? An instinct. You needed to know what was gonna happen in a way, so you could interpret what things were happening and what to do next. So basically, emotions anchor you into the present moment, not the future, because there was something that triggered that emotion. So let's say that you saw a tiger, right? You had this emotion to attack it or run away, fight or flight. So that thing anchored you into the present, so you took a decision right away. You couldn't be planning out like, okay, what happens if I run and I attack the tiger and then I'm gonna have meat, and what am I gonna do tomorrow, right? So emotions anchor you to the right now. You can't think to the future, but you're thinking right now. What do I have right now? How do I feel right now? And what is the absence of something? So you focus more on what you don't have. Let's say that you're buying something really quickly, let's say like a shirt that you really want. If your emotions arise a lot, you're gonna start thinking, I don't have that feeling right now, that feeling of absence. Right now, I don't have that stimulus I would have if I had that new shirt, that new phone, that new computer. So you're, rather than thinking about the future and planning out, you're buying right now. That's why you buy a computer that's worth thousands of dollars, and you're not thinking about the price. How is that going to affect your economy in the future? Is it worth it, actually worth it, because you already have a computer that works? So you're thinking about the present moment. That's the most important thing I want you guys to remember. Emotions anchor you into the present moment, and you're not thinking about future numbers, about future benefits. You're thinking of right now. So basically, when you're selling things that give you like instant pleasure, that hedonic products like chocolate, like chewing gum, like things that are really flavorful, ice cream, something that gives you instant pleasure, you should use emotions, because if people think it too much, they probably won't buy it. So a really cool trick that you could do here is to tell people reasons first and then give their emotion just right before you're gonna put the buy sign, the call to action. So you tell them reason number 1, reason number 2, and then you give them a benefit, something that's really emotional, and then the buy, because you need them to buy right now, to have higher emotions when they're really close to buying. For example, if you see those Amazon upsells when you're just about to pay, and they'll tell you like, hey, we'll give you an extra this thing if you click here right now. So they give you those little pleasurable things extra, and upsells make a lot of money. So, and also another cool example, if you go to a supermarket and they sell you like these chocolates they have in the cashier, and out of nowhere they're like, hey, get this chocolate for just $1. So it's a decision that it's more emotional, so they put it to the end because they know that it's something that you need to get emotion. And in this case, what triggers that emotion? Having less time. This is really important. Being into the present. You remember? If you have less time, you're thinking more about right now. What do I have right now? And probably there's a lot of people behind you in the line in the supermarket, so you need to take the decision right now. And when decisions are quick, we go for the emotion, right? What do I rather have? The pleasure of a chocolate ought not or not having it. So the probabilities, the chances are that you're gonna buy it more because this scarcity principle. If you see those sales pages, obviously people tell you like, yes, we just have 10 spots left, 100 spots left, and these things left. So the important thing here, guys, is emotions and the power perception and the time perception, right? The value perception. You tend to value things more, and when you're thinking emotionally, you're just focusing on one thing, right? It changes your focus. Rather than focusing all the factors, all the things that you should consider about buying this, do you really need it? How much it's gonna cost? It's gonna actually help me in the future. You're just thinking about one thing. How do I feel right now? What kind of stimulus I don't have right now that I want to have? So you start thinking more about the right now. So emotions are really powerful when you want quicker buys, right? When you want people to buy quicker. This relates to copywriting because let's say that you want to trigger emotions, right? You have a product that it's quicker, that it's instant pleasure, and you give people and you tell them this is what the product provides, rather than telling them this is what your product prevents. So let's say we're selling a productivity app. So our app provides more time or finishing your job in less time. That's what it provides. Rather than telling you it prevents you from procrastination. So in those two scenarios, when you give people what your product gives you, it arises more emotions in you because you're thinking about the instant pleasure. What am I gonna get right now, rather than what I'm gonna prevent in the future. If you have products or maybe services that are more long term, you should give people what it prevents into the future. Let's say that I'm selling a marketing plan and I'm telling them like, this is gonna prevent you from losing revenue in this year, revenue for 1 year. So I'm talking more about long term because I'm more rational decision. Because here is a cool thought, guys, that you should think about. Let's say that I'm selling something, a service that is long term, and I use a lot of emotions, and I get people to buy. When they get off of those emotions, they're gonna think, I think I screw up. Like, I didn't thought about this through in a good way. It was my emotions, and they might talk to you later and say like, hey man, I don't actually need your product, I need a refund. So in those cases, you shouldn't use emotions that much and be more rational, because people buy for emotions. Remember, you get in the present moment, what do I want right now? And then when they have time to think, they're gonna start justifying their decision based on rationality. So you need to also give them some rationality, some numbers, so they can justify it to themselves in the future. So they might take an emotional decision, but later you need to give them some numbers, right? There's an example, actually, a lot of studies that say that if you want to sell to a woman, you need to use more emotions, and to a man, more numbers, because they tend to be more rational and more focused on those numbers, because for evolution purposes, women have better emotional skills because they took care of the family. They did a lot of different things rather than just being like a hunter, right? So depending on your product, you should know if you want to sell more with emotions or you don't. So don't use it always. And to wrap this up, guys, I'm gonna give you a cool example I saw in a study that actually aroused so much interest to me. They found out in a study, I could link it down below, that when your demographics were older, let's say you're selling to older people, they have this sense of time that they lacked time. So they were more prone to buying stuff, being more emotional, because they knew they have less time in life, right? Rather than if you sold something to someone that it's really young, because they have this sense that they, oh, if I don't buy it right now, I have a lot of time to do it in the future. It's like when you go to college, right, and you're in freshman year, you kind of risk yourself more into getting new friends rather than just staying with your actual friends, because you know that you have a lot more time to meet new people versus a senior, which is like, okay, I'm gonna stay with my closest friends, the people that I know right now, because I feel I don't have so much time until I get out of college. So you see, the approach here, guys, is basically the scarcity principle, that this thing is limited principle applied into real time, into time. So it's basically life giving you scarcity. That's the thing. So use emotions, apply it into your copy, see what are you gonna do. This is more of a marketing approach, but it also applies to copy when you're telling people what your product provides and what it prevents. Also, if you want to really inject emotions into your copy, the easiest, most efficient way is to use power words. There's a list down below with all the power words and what emotions it arises. So in this way, you know exactly what emotions I need to get people through in order to get them to buy. So look out for the power words. Hope this helps you out. If you have any questions, let it down below. I always reply. If you want to see more of these free trainings in the future, subscribe down below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.